Good morning. It's great to see all of your beautiful faces today, or at least see them online on my computer to the side here. I'm Suzanna Kaye with Spark Organizing, and today we will be talking about inspiration and getting back to inspired. I know recently I had a bit of a problem getting inspired. I had felt like the things on my list were just simply draining me. So I just recently went through all of this. And I'm trying to pull up right now so I can see your comments better right now. So please bear with me. But yes, I recently went through trying to become more inspired myself. I found myself getting into a rut, and the things that I was loving before were becoming work. And I was just trudging through my to-do list instead of enjoying my to-do list. And yeah, you can enjoy your to-do list. So today I figured we would talk about what inspires you and how to get back to that inspiration if you're feeling a little ho-hum and drab. The first thing I did last week to get back on track with my inspiration is I reminded myself of the purpose for all of the things on my to-do list. There's a reason why I started my business with Spark Organizing, and there's a reason why I started doing the Facebook Lives and blogging and speaking and coaching and all of these things that I do. And the reason is because I truly want to help other people connect in their lives and become more prosperous, more happy, more peaceful, all of the things that they want to be. Good morning, Ruth. Good to see you. Good morning, Jack. So in order to make all of these impacts in the world that I would like to make, even if it's just on a small level or on a great big level, I need to be inspired and I need to keep moving forward. My purpose in each thing that I do is to touch somebody and to make a difference in their day. And that is how I reframe my to-do list. As I look at my to-do list, I figure out what that item is doing towards that purpose. So for example, as I was planning my Facebook Live, I was thinking of the impact this could have if the right person is watching it at the right time, even if it's just one life, what impact that would have, and how possibly that could then snowball. So one person could watch at just the right time when they might feel a little drained, and that can snowball into them being more inspired for their day and getting something done that now impacts somebody else with their purpose and impacts somebody else. So my purpose started to become visual, and it started to become really clear as to why I was doing the planning for this Facebook Live, because it had an impact beyond checking it off of my to-do list. And checking off the to-do list, that's a great motivator, writing that check mark or crossing out that item, but it's not the motivator. It's not an inspiration. It's just a small achievement. It's the gold star in your third grade class. But that purpose, remembering the purpose and remembering the effect that that purpose can have in the world for completing this task, that's the huge part. Now, when I'm looking at my purpose with some things, such as my bookkeeping, as you all know, I hate bookkeeping. It's my least favorite, and I do it because I know how to do it. Eventually, I will be getting somebody to do it. That's one of my rewards for reaching a next level. But right now, the bookkeeping needs to be done by me. So as I'm looking at that on my list, it's hard to get inspired. But I can reframe that. I can fit that into my purpose simply by that is what continues Spark Organizing. It is what makes sure that the bills get paid and the lights stay on. It's what makes sure that I don't end up in prison for not paying my taxes or whatever happens when you don't pay your taxes for a really long time. It's what makes sure that all of that keeps functioning, which then means that I can reach out, which then means that the right person can hear, which then means that then the trickle-down effect. So even the most mundane task, I can tie in to what the purpose is. Now, if you can't tie it in, it might not be might not be meant to be on your list, because that just sounds draining and it does not serve your best interests. So if it does not attach to your purpose in some way and keep you forward thinking and you can't make those connections, examine why it's even on your list to begin with. It might not be meant to be there. The next thing for me is connection. And everybody has their own level of connectedness that they need in their lives to be inspired. I love connection. Now, I am not exactly an extrovert, not by nature. I'm actually an introvert with extrovert tendencies, because at the right times and in the right situations, I can be very extroverted, but I'm not naturally always that way. But I do need those connections in my life. So whenever I'm feeling uninspired and drained, sometimes it's simply I am lacking connection for too long. As an entrepreneur who runs her own business, there is a lot of time spent alone and in my home, which is great because sometimes I am in my pajamas. You know, you were lucky I brushed my teeth that day, but it can be very uninspiring to be alone. And the first instinct is sometimes to reach out to Facebook and try to make those connections. And then you end up procrastinating and spending a lot of time on Facebook when really what you're looking for is human interaction. Those are the times that I form real connections. Some of the ways that I can do that, which increase my energy and gets me inspired and sends me off on my day really well, sometimes a simple phone call. Making a phone call to somebody who I really enjoy talking to can spark so much, because then I feel connected and then I feel energized again because I've met that need. And now I can go on and I can see my purpose more clearly and I can get inspired and excited. Sometimes it's simply working in a coffee shop. I might go up to the local coffee shop up here and work so that I can be around people while still getting my work done, which is a nice luxury that I have. And sometimes it's simply reaching out, even if it's not a phone call. It can be just reaching out and sending an email, writing a greeting card, taking the dogs for a walk around the neighborhood so I see people and I see houses, and thinking about the people in my life and how they're connected to me. Those sometimes are just enough in order to get me to feel more connected and procrastinate and get sidetracked less with social media or that desire to be connected. So the connection also increases my energy and it inspires me, and it can inspire you too. If you connect with people, if you are feeling disconnected and lonely or very dreary and drab, connect with someone. And a lot of times they're feeling it too. So I call some of my business friends sometimes and they really need to pick me up as well. And a quick conversation, we're both right back on track and inspired and energized and excited about it. Another thing that really helps, and it fits in with connection, it's giving. Whether this giving is to go out and volunteer or make a donation, or more often than not, my form of giving is what can I put out in the world for free that could help someone. And the more I focus on the giving and how my to-do list is tying into giving to the world instead of just making $1 or keeping the lights on, I think the more inspired I get, because giving truly does come back to you, and giving truly does connect you to the world in a way that inspiration can grow. So the more you give, even if it is simply giving a compliment as you walk by somebody in the store because you think honestly that their hair looks good that day or you like their shirt, just give. Give your heart, give your knowledge, give your time, whatever you can give. If you focus on giving, you become inspired, because then your purpose reignites, and it's a wonderful thing. And then finally, when you're really down in the dumps and things are just not going right, and you're trying to get out of that funk, focus on what's going right. I know there are a lot of times, especially for me when I own my own business, where things are going wrong and I'm not where I want to be, or my message is not getting out there, or not as, people aren't as excited about it. And that could be kind of sad and draining and keep me in the dumps. But if I focus on what's going right, if I focus on the feedback that I've gotten on some of the things like my 365 project, some of the great feedback that I've gotten about how it's helped people, that right there is something that's going right. I might not be helping 2 billion people, But those 200 people that have communicated with me, it's the world. That's all that is going right at that moment, then that's a wonderful thing, and focus on that. Sometimes what's going right is simply that your coffee is hot and tastes good. That's going right. Sometimes what's going right is you get to work from home. And I know that that's not always the easiest, but sometimes that is a great thing that's going right. So focus on what is going right. Maybe your relationship is going really well with your kid right now. Maybe you are wearing comfortable shoes that you love. Maybe your house is actually clean because you spent a bit of time cleaning. I mean, when my kitchen is clean, that's pretty right, and that makes me excited. So focus on what's going right. So overall, what we talked about in order to increase your energy, be reconnected to your inspiration, and just re-energize yourself, remember your purpose. Remember your purpose in this world, and remember your purpose for doing the things that you're doing. Because what you're doing it for a reason and for a greater good, even if it's just the bookkeeping. Think about your connection, and if you have a lack of connection that needs to be fixed. So reach out to somebody if you need to, work near people, find that connection outside of social media. Come back and watch me when you're done, but find that connection outside of social media so you can be connected in the world and gain some more energy and inspiration from others. Give. If you focus on what you are giving in the world, even if it's a compliment to somebody else or a blog post that you would find helpful in sharing your knowledge, just focus on the giving, and that is inspiring. And then finally, what's going right? What is going right in your life right now? Even if it's just that your coffee is hot, focus on what's going right instead of what's going wrong, and you'll get that inspiration back very quickly. I hope these 4 tips helped you on getting that inspiration, the energy back. They helped me tremendously last week. And I do hope that you will join me either on the Facebook page for Spark and become a follower, or on the 365 Project at my365project.com. I look forward to having all of you continued in my life. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time. Have a wonderful day. I love you.